The movie opens in rural America where three guys, Gas, Nathan, and the hefty Terry, are sitting in a car watching an elderly couple who live alone. The three of them have a plan: break into the house and steal their money. Terry's mom is the couple's housekeeper, so she told him that the doctor always takes his wife out to dinner every Friday night. They figure that's the perfect time to strike. While they're waiting for the old folks to leave, a girl named Mary shows up. She's Nathan's girlfriend and she's furious because he took her car without saying anything, making her late for work. Nathan refuses to give it back, saying he needs it for a couple more hours. Not long after, the elderly couple finally leaves the house. Seeing this, the three guys prepare to break in. Mary realizes what they're up to. She wants her car back, but Nathan promises it'll only take 20 minutes. Finally, Mary gives in and waits in the car while the other three sneak into the house using a spare key hidden under a flower pot by the front door. Once inside, Nathan and Gas ask Terry where the old folks keep their money, but Terry admits he doesn't really know, just that his mom mentioned a safe full of cash, but he doesn't know where it is. Gas and Nathan are pissed. Gas starts smashing things up. He goes into a room labeled Kit and destroys some dolls in there. Meanwhile, after searching for a while, Terry finds the safe in the basement and calls the other two down. The guys start getting excited. Gas even brought tools to open the safe, but they realize it's a combination lock. After trying and failing to open it, Terry suggests they give up. But Gas and Nathan refuse. They're determined to get the money no matter what. They decide to wait for the old couple to come back and force them to give up the combination. Time passes, and outside, Mary gets increasingly worried. She keeps calling Nathan. Outside, Terry suggests he should drive her to work and then come back. But Nathan refuses and actually goes out and brings Mary inside. She's hesitant at first, but then agrees. As soon as she walks in, Nathan immediately runs over and kisses her, making Terry, who's standing nearby, look uncomfortable. Just then, Gas, who's in the living room, notices a photo of a young girl and teases Terry, saying the girl looks like she'd be a better match for him. Terry says that's Kit, the daughter of the owners of the house, who died years ago. Before the conversation can continue, Mary suddenly reveals that she's pregnant. Nathan tries to reassure her, saying everything will be fine as long as they get the money. Just then, they realize the old couple is back. Gas grabs some socks and gives one to each person to pull over their heads as masks. Mary wants out, but they force her to stay until it's over. As the couple walks into the house, the group attacks. During the struggle, Helen gets cut on the arm by a piece of glass. The group quickly drags them into the living room and ties them up. Richard is worried about his wife's injury, but the guys immediately yell at him to shut up. Mary tries to defuse the situation by finding a first aid kit and taking care of the old woman. The guys quickly demand that the couple hand over their valuables. Richard gives them some cash hidden in the kitchen along with his wallet and credit cards, but they're not satisfied. The guys force him to reveal the combination to the safe in the basement, but the old man pretends not to know anything. Seeing this, they drag the couple down to the basement and make them sit in front of the safe. Mary starts to feel scared and begs everyone to stop, but Nathan claims he's doing this for her and their unborn child. Nathan continues to demand the combination, but Richard still says nothing. He gets angry and slaps the man. Helen sees this and looks distraught and panicked. Gas even tries to burn her with a cigarette, but the others finally stop him. He stopped him. Then he gave Nathan a knife and told him to use it to pressure the old couple. Mary got furious and stormed off. She went into the bathroom and tried to call the cops, but Gas caught her, dragged her out, and smashed her head into the mirror. Down in the basement, they heard Mary scream. Just then, the old man warned Nathan not to let Gas control him, saying he wasn't from around here. Right then, Gas dragged Mary down to the basement, her hands tied up. He accused her of trying to call the police. In a fit of anger, Nathan pointed the knife at Ellen, demanding the safe code. Gas went over and whispered something to Nathan, making him even more agitated. He threatened to cut off Ellen's fingers. The old man begged him to stop, to think about Mary and the baby, but Gas suddenly pulled out a gun, aimed it at Nathan, and ordered him to drop the knife. With no other choice, Nathan had to cut off Ellen's finger. Richard watched the heartbreaking scene, but still refused to give up the code. Finally, Nathan, torn by guilt, suddenly turned on Gas and attacked him. The two of them got into a brutal fight, but Nathan was weaker and Gas stabbed him in the stomach. Richard begged them to untie him so he could help Nathan since he was a doctor, but Gas refused until he got the code. Finally, with no other choice, the old man had to give in and say the numbers. Gas rushed to open the safe, but the code didn't work. Furious, he turned back and demanded another code. Richard gave him another set of numbers, but it still didn't open. Enraged, Gas grabbed a chainsaw and came closer. He was going to cut off more of her fingers, but Suddenly, Mary appeared from behind, grabbed a hammer and smashed the guy's head, killing him instantly. Mary quickly untied the old couple. While going around the basement, she found a path leading to the garage where a van was parked. Mary suggested taking Nathan to the hospital, but Richard stopped her, saying the hospital was over 30 miles away and Nathan wouldn't make it that far. Instead, he wanted to treat Nathan right there. They helped the young man upstairs. Even though Nathan was losing blood and was in really bad shape, Richard casually took care of the minor cut on his wife's hand first. Mary kept begging him for help, and finally he went to Nathan and pulled the knife from his stomach. But Mary felt like he was making the wound even worse. Richard, still calm, said that no internal organs were damaged. Then he asked everyone to leave the room so he could perform the surgery alone. Just then, the chubby guy, Terry, tried to comfort Mary, but taking advantage of her vulnerability, he got close and tried to kiss her. Mary immediately pushed him away, angrily accusing Terry of taking advantage of her weakness, saying it was all his fault for getting Nathan into this. Terry retorted, saying it was all Nathan's plan. But Mary didn't believe him. She suddenly remembered her twin sister, Wren, who used to date Terry. She said she never loved him and was only with him out of pity. After breaking up, Wren left town and never came back. Hearing this, Terry completely broke down, covered his face and cried. Mary then went into the room to check on Nathan, but found his body pale and cold as ice. Richard reassured her that Nathan was just sleeping, but Mary couldn't find a pulse. She demanded they call an ambulance. Richard picked up the phone and started talking, but Mary quickly realized the phone line had been cut. Panicked, she ran to find a way out. Suddenly feeling nauseous and dizzy, the old man offered her sedatives, but she refused. Mary went through another room and suddenly saw Ellen injecting something into Terry's butt and comforting him like a baby. Mary immediately realized something was very wrong. She tried to escape, but all the doors were locked tight. She turned back and asked Ellen what she injected into Terry had been injected with. The old man interrupted, saying it was just pain medication. Mary didn't believe him and asked Terry to hand over his phone, but Terry just sighed and said he gave everything to Ellen to hold. Mary told Terry that Nathan was dead, but before he could react, Richard and Ellen appeared, inviting them both for tea like nothing serious had just happened. At the table, Richard showed Mary a picture of their granddaughter, praising her as a sweet child. Then the old man brought out a photo album, gave it to Mary, and said his wife made it to preserve memories. Inside were a series of photos of young girls who used to live in the town, including her sister, Wren. Mary felt uneasy and demanded that the old couple give her their phone to call Nathan's mom, but they just smiled and refused. They kept telling her to drink all the tea in front of her. Mary angrily threw the table over, grabbed a knife, and threatened to make them open the door, but Richard easily caught her and restrained her. He then dragged her to the closet under the stairs and locked her inside. Before leaving, Richard told Terry to keep an eye on her. Then he took Ellen upstairs, saying it was time for her to go to bed. After they both left, Mary started crying, begging Terry to let her out, but he coldly refused, still angry that she ignored his feelings. Suddenly, the young man felt his legs starting to go numb. Mary said that was the effect of the drug Ellen had injected, but Terry still blindly trusted the couple. The drug quickly took effect, causing Terry to hallucinate, seeing Mary as Wren. In his confused mind, he recalled romantic moments between him and Wren. Mary was initially panicked, but then realized this was her only chance to escape, so she pretended to play along with the story. Terry then opened the closet door and let her out. As soon as she was free, Mary immediately ran upstairs. Terry tried to follow, while the drug slowly took hold. When he got there, he saw her in Ket's room, trying to open the window to escape, but in Terry's eyes, Mary had transformed into Wren and was trying to leave him again. Mary tried to reassure him, but Terry suddenly lunged at her, trying to kiss her. Just then, a canister was thrown into the room, causing smoke to fill the room. Metal sheets slid down and sealed the windows, blocking their escape. Mary frantically tried to breathe in the thick air. She desperately tried to make her way down the stairs. Meanwhile, Terry, despite being in danger, was still worried about the old couple and said they needed to be rescued. Mary didn't care and just wanted to get out as fast as possible. As she was looking for a way out, the old couple suddenly appeared in the smoke, wearing protective suits, and attacked. Panicked, Mary wildly swung the knife around. In a moment of fear, she grabbed a vase and threw it hard. It accidentally hit Ellen, and she collapsed. Without hesitating, Mary rushed over and stole Ellen's mask to put on. While she wasn't paying attention, the old woman suddenly injected her with a strange drug, causing her to get dizzy. Mary tried to drag her into the kitchen and chained her hand to the oven door. Just then, Richard appeared and attacked, but Mary fought back fiercely. pushing him outside. When he turned back, she repeatedly slammed the door on his hand, until one of his fingers was severed. Mary used Ellen as a hostage, demanding the keys to the van and Terry in exchange. At this point, the drug started to take effect, causing her to slowly lose control. Outside, she heard Richard and Terry talking, but she couldn't make out what they were saying. Finally, Richard agreed to the exchange. When Mary left the kitchen, she saw Terry lying unconscious in the hallway with the car keys in his pocket. Mary tried to drag her friend to the garage, put him in the van, and prepared to drive away. But as soon as the door opened, Mary was suddenly shot in the stomach. The shooter was none other than Terry. The couple then stepped forward and said they were going to spare her after she helped them kill that young guy in the group. But her resistance changed their minds. The couple told Terry he did a good job and deserved a reward. Then they put him in a wheelchair and pushed him in front of the safe. When the door opened, it revealed a room like a prison cell. The person sitting inside was none other than Mary's missing sister, Wren. The girl was wearing a dress identical to the couple's daughters. Richard explained that after the death of their daughter, his wife was devastated. So, they kidnapped girls in the town, pretending they were their daughter to fill the void. No one really fit until Wren showed up. Mary painfully saw her sister through the rearview mirror before passing away due to her severe injuries. Terry was then put into Wren's room, who was also his ex-girlfriend, as a reward. A week later, Terry's mom came to the couple's house to work as usual. Meanwhile, Richard and Ellen were in the garden, burying the bodies of the unfortunate young men. Terry's mom was worried because her son had been missing for the past week, but Richard reassured her, saying young men these days were like that. The woman nodded and left, unaware that right behind her, a pair of devils were sharing a triumphant smile. That's the end of the movie. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the WOV channel so you don't miss out on other exciting movies. Thank you, and goodbye.